Hey folks, welcome back to another SPY options update. And we're at the final trading day of the week. There's about 15 minutes left in the trading period before SPY closes for the week and the month. It's been a pretty decent day so far. SPY has been on its way up. You can see the beginning of the day over here at 9:30. So I've been bullish for most of the day. And I have a 409 call that I own. And I'm thinking, before the end of the day, is SPY likely to go above 409? Because right now, for the 409 call expiring in 15 minutes, I can still sell it at $22 or $23. So SPY would have to go above 409.22 or higher for it to be worth holding to the end of the day. I don't think that's likely going to be the case because you see this green channel that I have drawn here, which has been respected through pretty much all of today. Maybe this line down here should be a little bit lower. But in any case, if SPY continues to trade within this range, then the highest it'll go is up here to around 409.3. So I don't see a lot of upside move from now until the end of the trading session in like 13 minutes. So I'm going to drop down to the minute chart, and here we can see. So basically, SPY has to make a really large move like that to close the day or higher for me to earn an additional profit with my call option. So I'm going to come over here to my portfolios where my options are. You can see there's my 409 call, which I own. And right now it's worth 26 cents. And I bought it for 12 cents earlier today. But the reason I bought this was to protect myself against this short 410 call, right? Because if I'm short the market and SPY goes up past 410, then I could lose a lot of money. But if I'm long the 409 call, then I don't care how much it goes up because the 409 will always be worth more than the 410, which is the case right now. So I have 22 cents for the 409 and then the 410 is worth 5 cents. So I'm going to hold on to the 410 call for now because I don't think there's a high probability of SPY going to 410 by the end of today. 410 is all the way up here, this purple line here. So SPY would have to make a move up like that, which is not very likely. But I will get rid of my 409 call right now. So I'm going to close this and hopefully sell it for about 22 cents. Let's see what I can get. Okay, so it's gone down a little bit now. I'll try 19.
Order filled.
Okay, so that filled at 19 cents. So now I have a naked call up, short call up here at 410. And hopefully SPY is not going to go all the way up there. I mean, that's basically a 2-point move from where it is now to all the way up there. So looking at my portfolio here, I've sold my 409 call, so that's gone. I just have the 410 short call now. If we look at the option chain, you can see the 409 is now worth 16 cents, so it's a good thing I sold it at 19. And the 410 is basically just worth a few cents. Yeah, the closer to expiration, the faster the options price deteriorates, because the extrinsic value just falls off a cliff, especially in the last few minutes of the trading session. Okay, so 16 o'clock is here. This is 4 p.m., which is the closing of the session. So actually, I should put this up here like this. If you look at this angle here, 70 degrees, it's quite rare for the SPY to move at a 70 degree. Now, I'm going to get rid of this line here, 409, because I no longer need it. I don't have any options at 409. I have a couple of short puts at 400 and 404. And then a short call at 410. So it's 410, and then, so I don't want SPY to fall down to 406 either because, and the reason I drew a line at 406 is because I have a put spread down here at 406, 405. So hopefully these will expire out of the money as well, which it looks like it will. Here's 406, 405, and then 410's at a 3.9 standard deviation. And there's about 6.5 minutes left in the trading session. So as long as the SPY stays between this line up here and this line down here, then all of my options would expire out of the money, and I get to keep all of the credit, basically. Oh, there's a big push up here. I may have to get out of my 410 short call if this continues to move up. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. But right now it's at 408.5. So there's still like $1.50 it has to climb. Not very likely, but I do need to keep an eye on that. Well, that's a pretty big candle. Let's see where it finishes. There's still like 10 seconds left in this minute bar here. If it finishes at the high, that's very bullish. And we'll probably see another green candle after this. Yep, there we go. Those were a couple of huge green candles. It looks like it's losing momentum on the MACD here, these staircases. It's going up, but each step is a little bit lower than the previous step. So it's at 409.33. And there's like 2.5 minutes left in the trading session. So I'm going to get ready to close my 410 call. Just right click close. And then in here, I'm going to set up a price. Maybe I'll just change it to something lower than it is right now. So maybe 5 cents and transmit. And then if I see it go up a lot, then I'm going to close it right away. Okay, so it's 40 cents away from the strike price. Oh, big rejection there. And there's a minute and 30 seconds left. So if it goes to 410 or really close, like 409.9, then I am going to get out of my position here. Right now it's 18 cents. Let's see where it goes to. It's coming back down. Let's see how it interacts with the top of this channel. Hopefully it doesn't go up to 410. I do have 15 minutes after the market closes to still close my position if I want to, but let's see where this ends at. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it closed at 409.35. Okay, so that was pretty close. Luckily, it did not go all the way up to 410. So now for this one, I'm just going to cancel that.
Order cancelled.
Otherwise, it might fill after hours, and I don't want to lose $5. So did I sell my 409 call too early? Looks like it, because if I had held, you can see the market moved up, and I could have sold my 409 at a higher price, but holding it till the end of the day wouldn't really have done much because it ended at 409.35. So in terms of SPY trades today, I'm going to go over all of the trades I made, and it was quite a lot today. This is more than usual, but I did see a lot of opportunities, which is why I made those trades. So here is the price action for SPY today. Starting off in the morning at 6:44 or 9:44 Eastern, I sold two 410 calls because at 410 is roughly where this yellow line is, and that's a major resistance line going down. If I zoom out to the daily, we can see this yellow line coming down from all the way back to March of 2022. That was a key resistance area where the stock bounced and went lower. Also over here at the beginning of the year, it bounced off that, head lower. So right around here is where I think the market will chill out a bit and probably do another bounce before either going lower or maybe going up higher. So dropping back to the 5 minutes chart, since I didn't think the market would go above that yellow line, I decided to sell just a couple of calls at 410 because I don't want to put on too big of a position. And of course, now that the day is over, we can see that was a pretty close call, I guess you can say, because had SPY go up a little bit more, that 410 call would have been in the money and I would have closed out of that probably for a loss. So anyway, I earned 4 cents from that, or $4 times 2, so $8. And then about an hour later, I realized that, hey, maybe the market isn't really going to go down. It's going to continue going up. So I decided to also sell a couple of puts at the 400 strike. That was at 10:30, so right around here. And this is a bullish trade. So that's why I have this line down here at 400. Basically, I looked at the MACD and you can see right over here where it started to curl down and then curl back up. And for the entire time, the MACD was above the zero line, which is down here, which is bullish. So I still didn't think my 410 calls would be in the money, so I held them. But because of this dip and then going up higher, I had a feeling the market was going to continue moving up for the day. So I was bullish right here. So I sold a couple of 400 puts, and that is symmetrical with the 410 calls. So I have 2 of each. And then a couple hours later, I looked back at the market and it was around 12:30. So right here, it looked like the market was heading higher still. That was before this MACD turned negative. And I'm going to turn on the EMAs here. And you can see how SPY has consistently been on top of this 9 EMA. So I decided to sell another put over here at 12:30. So that's a couple more short puts at 10 cents each. So I made $20 from doing that. And then at 2 o'clock, which was around here, I got a little bit nervous because I realized that SPY has never gone below this red line, which is the 50 EMA. Plus, the MACD came down and almost touched the zero line, but it actually started to head up and it crossed back over the signal line again, which is very bullish. So I was concerned here that my 410 calls might be in the money by the end of the day because all of these signs that I'm seeing, like the MACD going up without even hitting the zero line, and also the price of the underlying going up quickly over here without touching the 50 EMA, which means there's no trend change and we're likely going to continue seeing upward momentum. So at this point, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I decided to protect my 410 calls, and that's when I bought my 409 calls. which represents another bullish trade. So here's my 409 calls, and I bought two to protect my two short calls over here at 410. So I bought them for 14, and you can see 15 minutes later I sold them for 17. So that's a very small profit. Purchased for 14, sold for 17, and I got back into my 409 calls over here. I'm not going to bother putting that on here, but I sold here and I bought back here. So I'm still holding on to those 409 calls at this point. And then I started to scale out of them at 304. So the market went up with this large green candle over here, but then it started to go down. And I decided to sell one of my 409 calls just because the market was still quite far away from 409. That was at about 408. And there was only an hour left in a trading session. So I kind of wanted to hedge my bets. So I sold one of my 409 calls here. And at the same time, I got rid of one of my 410 calls over here. You can see I bought back one of my short calls that I sold earlier in the day. And again, that's just for symmetry. So that was actually a neutral trade. I basically closed one of my pairs, right? So instead of having two short calls at 410 and two long calls at 409, I just closed one of those pairs. Obviously, if we look at this now, I should have just held them all the way till the end of the day. Then my 409 call would be worth a lot, and then my 410 would be worthless. But this is risk management. When the stock market goes up and you start to see weakness, I like to take a little bit of profit. And I sold my other 409 call at 350 for 19 cents. And this is the part where you saw me doing it live. And then my last 410 short call expired out of the money. And I also had a short 406, 405 put that I put in at 3 o'clock, so an hour before markets closed. But that was just a small trade, just for $8. So right around here, I had a bull put spread. So this is pretty much all the trades I had for today. You can see most of it is bullish, the green ones. A couple of bearish trades, these red bubbles here, and then one is a neutral trade. So days like today, it's pretty easy to trade because the trend is just going up, unlike yesterday, which is harder to trade because it went down for more than half of the day, and then all of a sudden it just had this upward movement. But if you're able to catch when the market goes over the red line, which is the 50 EMA, then that represents a trend change. So that's how you know it is likely that the market will continue to go in that new trend. So that covers all the SPY trades I made today. The only other one that I made this session is this one here. It's a bearish ratio spread expiring on Tuesday at 412, 413. And that basically means I bought the 412 call and then I sold two of the 413 call. The 413 is worth less than the 412. So if I just buy one and sell the other, then it'll be a debit and I'd be paying for this strategy. But because I'm selling two of the 413 calls to buy one 412 calls, this is a 2-to-1 ratio, and I was able to make a credit out of that. So here's what that ratio spread looks like in my portfolio. If I right click and click on performance profile, this is basically what we're looking at. There's a 4 in 5 chance this trade is going to be profitable, and my break even is at 414.3, meaning by Tuesday, if SPY ends below 414.3, then this would be profitable. And the reason I made this trade today is because if I zoom out to the daily chart and draw a channel connecting the recent price actions over the last couple of weeks, the top of that channel is at 413.14. And you can see SPY has went from the bottom of the channel to the top, to the bottom, to, I would argue, now we're at the top again, and we're probably going to go back to the bottom. So that's why I was confident in putting this trade in, but I will have to manage this over the next couple of days because April 4th is basically next week, Tuesday. So there's 2 trading sessions for this to expire worthless. Now, the beauty of this is, let's say the market is pretty bullish, and for whatever reason, the market continues to go up, and we close right at the top of this channel, which is one of the likely scenarios. But if we close at the top here, which is at 413 basically, then this is an absolute win for this trade, because on Tuesday, if SPY closes at 413, look at how much profit I can make. 200 and basically the max return here, $270, which is a 386% return. But otherwise, if it goes below 412, because right now it's at about 409.5, then I will just make the premiums that I got from it, which is $70. So I'm expecting to make somewhere between $70 and $270, but I'll be keeping an eye on this to see where it goes over the next couple of days. And the only other SPY that I'm holding expiring next week is this one expiring on Monday, which is a bear call spread at 410 and 411. So I'm hoping SPY goes down on Monday I mean, we had so many like up days that it would make sense for a pullback. But if it doesn't, then I'll just roll this forward to like the next day and maybe go like 411, 412 or something. And Tesla had a really nice day today. I usually don't trade Tesla, but earlier this morning, I did notice that the MACD has just been continuing to go up and it's not even touching the blue line. So that's very bullish. And I decided to sell some bull put spreads at 195, 190. And then later on in the afternoon, I sold 205 and 202. And those turned out pretty well. You can see both trades expired worthless. So the nice thing about Fridays is you can do 0 DTE trades on pretty much anything. Whereas if you do 0 days to expiration trades on Monday through Thursday, then you can only do that for certain ETFs like the SPY or SPX. So sometimes I do trade SPX options. If you see my daily tweets, you'll notice that sometimes, like yesterday, I did have a lot of SPX options, also 0 DTEs, so I don't have to carry them to the next day. But just looking at SPY today, I'm going to tally up all of my profit and loss for this session, and that's 116 minus 1709 for commission. So that's a total of $99 for today. Plus on Monday, I made $80. And Tuesday, not much trading, but I did manage to make $64 overall. It was a very bearish day. This would be, yeah, Tuesday right here, March 28th. You can see it's kind of the opposite of what happened in today's session. Instead of the market always being above the pink line, on Tuesday, it was pretty much below the pink line during the entire session, which means the market is likely to go down for the day, which is why I put in some bearish trades in the morning and then just let them expire worthless. And then on Wednesday, made $52. I think that was the least amount I made for the week. On Thursday, I made $122 and I had to play both sides because, as I was showing earlier, this is Thursday right here. I started off being bearish in the morning and then had to change my sentiment to bullish in the afternoon as the market reversed direction. So altogether, that's $417 for this week. Interesting coincidence that on Monday and Friday I made the same amount as the previous week. But in any case, 417 is a little bit higher than last week. I would say overall it was a pretty decent trading week for me at least. SPY had a really good week, up 3.45%, and I was only up 1.39%. So overall, at the end of week 13, this is what we're looking at. My returns 15%. So that's 1.4% higher than the previous week. And then SPY looks like it's catching up. It's up 7% for the year. Because I don't take a lot of risk with my options trading, it's not likely that I'm going to have like a 3 or 4% move in a single week. So if SPY continues this uptrend, then it could outperform what I'm doing again, like in the beginning of the year, where I kind of had a slow start, and then SPY was up really nicely, like 8% in the first 5 weeks. But so far, things are looking pretty good. I'm glad what I'm doing is working, and also the SPY is up for the year so far. I think it's a pretty good end to the first quarter, and let's see if I can keep this up for the rest of the year. So thanks a lot for watching. Good luck with your investments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.